Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Irene Zamorano-Archacki. I hope I said that right.
Hi, I'm Irene Zamorano-Archacki, and I am the Silent No More Regional Coordinator for Los Angeles. The Silent No More campaign is a joint project of Priests for Life and Angelicans for Life. It was co-founded by Janet Morena, the Executive Director of Priests for Life, and Georgette Forney, the President of Angelicans for Life. Our pastoral director for the campaign around the world is Father Frank Pavone from Priests for Life. This campaign is the world's largest mobilization of women, men, and families who have lost children to abortion and want to share their testimonies about the negative physical, spiritual, and emotional impacts of abortion. Learning about this campaign is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. You see, 20 years ago, I was in a crisis pregnancy. I was confused. I was scared. On the way to the abortion clinic, I was even talking to God, and I was telling God, you know, God, I'm not really going to do this. There's going to be sidewalk counselors in the front of the abortion clinic, and I'm going to go to them, and I'm going to hug them, and they're going to tell me everything's okay. But when I pulled up to that abortion clinic, there were no sidewalk counselors. Sidewalk counselors are so important because my daughter would be alive today if there was just one person out there. I was just seeking help. I was so desperate. When I walked into that abortion clinic, it felt like I was part of a herd with a $sign on my face and a number on my back. I was crying. I was inconsolable. I couldn't even engage in simple conversation. They called me back. They laid me down, and one of the abortion workers looked in my eyes, and she said, wow, you have a lot of fear in your eyes. Look at the fear in your eyes. And she called the abortionist over there, and the abortionist said, is this your first abortion? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, don't worry, it's no big deal. Wow, the biggest lie I've ever heard in my life. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. When she administered a chemical into my abdomen, my daughter started kicking and punching me. She was fighting for her life. It was then, at that moment, that I woke up out of this chaotic haze, out of all the darkness and shadow I was in. And it kind of snapped me into reality. And I said, my God, what am I doing? What am I doing here? She's my daughter. I was in there for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then they told me to go to another room. And when I walked into this room, there was 10, narrow beds. They had us stacked like sardines, one after another in row, and there was women there. Most of them were crying silently. Nobody was talking. They were laying on their side, and I could just see the tears falling from their eyes as I was crying as well. After about 30 minutes, they gave me something sweet to eat and gave me an orange juice, and after 30 minutes, they said, okay, come back tomorrow. You see, because when I decided to end the life of my daughter, I was 6 months pregnant. I had a late-term abortion, and my baby was so big. At that time, when babies are that large, it's a multi-day procedure. Well, I left the abortion clinic. I went immediately to my mother. I told her what I did, and she took me to a nearby labor and delivery hospital so I could try to save my daughter. There, they hooked me up to a monitor, and we heard my daughter's heartbeat. It sounded healthy. The doctor was optimistic. But you see, a couple hours later, after he consulted a specialist, he came and he told me that the chemical they administered into my abdomen would soon stop her heart. And they encouraged me to go back to the abortion clinic because it was easier to take her out piece by piece than it was to have her whole. And I refused. I couldn't go back there. It was a horrible experience. I was not going back there. And so the next day, after 7 hours of labor, I gave birth to a beautiful, beautiful, yet lifeless baby girl. She looked so beautiful. She looked exactly like a newborn baby, just smaller. She was about the size of my hand. And when I delivered her, right away, they put her on my chest, and I hugged her, and I kissed her, and I said, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Mom was confused. Please forgive me. I didn't know what else to do. I begged for forgiveness. And I looked at her face, and I was crying, and the tears were just coming, streaming down my face. And my tears were landing on her face. And I touched her hands, each finger. And I touched each of her little toes. And this is her actual footprint. Because when she was born, the lady, they gave me a certificate, and they put her feet on ink. And this is the actual size of her feet at that time. And I wrapped her up like a little burrito, or, like you do newborn babies. And I held her, and my parents held her, and we were able to spend a couple hours with her. And I was just hugging her and loving her and just telling her how sorry I was. I was just so confused. And then it was time, and the nurse walked her lifeless body out of the room. A few days later, my family had to plan her funeral, and she's now buried in Southern California. I had to tell my 7 children that the same mother they knew who loved them, that the same mother they knew who was overprotective of them, was the same mother that ended the life of their sister, the same mother that robbed them from bonding with her, dancing with her, loving her. I stopped countless generations from ever existing. But I stand before you today through the grace of God because He has healed me. I have a message for Joe Biden, and I say this out of love. You are a baptized Catholic, sir. Start acting like it. Christ has healed me, and He can heal you too. And to the abortion industry and pro-tracers out there, stop lying to women. Stop telling us abortion is a quick fix, because it's not. Stop treating us like we're weak. Stop sending us to the butcher shop because you don't want to help us. Women are strong. Women are intelligent. We are fierce, and we can overcome any crisis situation. Women need love and support, and that is why I am silent no more. Thank you.